Alright, so let's talk about Queen Sugar. Ew. I was getting Snoop together. Snoop said some dumb shit on the Breakfast Club. One clip. And I need to go look at the rest of it. You know, I love Snoop, but he said some stupid shit about women need to cover themselves. How the fuck in a career that you built on women being bitches and hoes and sucking your dick and slobbing on the knob and all this other fucking shit, and the homies can't have none. Now you want these bitches that you cannot control anymore to cover themselves up. It don't work like that. Just because you entering into your golden years and you're trying to posture to your daughter who is now of the ages of the women that when you were her age, men was trying to fuck. So now you're trying to protect that shit. Don't do it now. Y'all created this culture, y'all cultivated this culture, and y'all curated this culture. So you're not going to start telling women to cover themselves. You fix the problem you cause. Don't tell women to cover themselves. You fix it. You caused the problem. You fix the problem. Same thing goes with racists. Y'all want, oh, we need to know what we need to do about racism. No, you don't. You know exactly what to do. You don't need a black person to tell you what you need to do about racism. You created it. You fix it. Fuck out of here with that bullshit. So let's talk about Queen Sugar. Y'all always ask me how do y'all to do a tutorial on tying scarves. I don't have a rhyme or reason. As you can see, it just boom goes like that. Oh, I didn't do it right, but it's whatever. You got it. It's hot in here. All right, Queen Sugar. Let's go. Vi and Nova. I don't like this camera direction. What these bitches want from a nigga. Somebody was like, when did DMX come out with that song? Child, probably before you was born. Vi and Nova. Nova is sitting in the damn diner. Once again. Sitting in the diner. And it's hot. And she said she's not gonna give up. And Nova, Vi said that she was squatting. She was squatting in her diner. She can't be squatting in her diner. So she told her something about you invading my mind, you invading my marriage. And she was like, you right, I should have discussed this with you guys. I should have discussed this with everybody before I did anything. And Vi said, okay, and if you would have discussed it with us and we said no, would you have still done it? Nova's up there looking all crazy and shit. That's why you didn't tell nobody, because you didn't want nobody to stop you. And Charlie got your ass together and told you about yourself in the damn woods when she was talking about Remy. She let you know you did what the fuck you wanted to do. You didn't want to tell nobody and talk to nobody, and you did what the fuck you wanted to do. I need to know what sign is that character. When is Nova's? Because Charles, he always looks up the actor's sign, because he believes that they bring their sign and their personality from their sign into their role. So I don't know what sign Nova is, but the character that she's playing is very selfish and very self-centered and very self-absorbed, and she demonstrates that she cares about her family, but her actions don't say the same thing. So it's really convoluted, and she's sitting up there, quivering lips and everything like that. And then she's still in there, and Charlie ends up coming in there. I don't know why Vi didn't kick her out, but she was like, we're family and whatever. Blue and Micah. Micah picks up Blue from Darla's house, and they are going to the park. And Darla's mom calls her and tells her that her best friend Jordan is in town, and Darla looks visibly disturbed, like there's a problem, like she's not, like this is not really the friend who you think she is. Like her mother, she was like, you've always liked her, And she was like, yes, I've always liked her. Why? What's going on? And she's like, no, whatever. I'm really busy. And she was trying to avoid it. And the mother was like, no, this is your friend or whatever. Make time. So she was like, okay, what's her number? She gives her the number. And then they go back to Charlie and Nova at the diner, and Charlie gives Nova a birthday gift. And I think she said something to the fact like, um, before I not give it to you, or think about not giving it to you. Hold on, let me see. Hold on. I was trying to find my Queen Sugar tweets. Queen Sugar tweets. I don't know why I'm looking over there. But she told Nova, thank you for your help. And she says, well, I'm getting ready to get back into the campaign shit. So if you want to get out of town with me for a second, she invites her out of town. Nova looks like she wants to break down. So, it looks like they're kind of letting Nova back into the folds. We're on what episode are we on? But yeah, they're letting Nova back into the folds of the family. Even though, what's her name didn't kick her out of the diner, she let her stay there while, she was talking to Charlie. So we see that that's slowly beginning to happen. So let's see. I'm trying to find oh, here. Yeah, that episode was a lot. So let's see. So they go to the forest, Charlie and the sister, and Nova, and they're in the forest, and they get this. It looks really nice. I would love, I did a forest bathing with my son. We didn't stay in there, but we just, walked around, around nature and saw different things. I think I told you guys about that. We went forest bathing, and it is a Japanese concept where it says you get into the forest and then you meditate and you begin to breathe with the forest. So I thought that's what they were gonna do. I was like, oh, I've done that with my son before, but they were on some like kind of like a glamping type of thing. The little hut that they were staying in was really, 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 really cute. But Nova offers Charlie help and says, I can help you with this old world energy thing. Um, I'm a journalist. I can help you, bitch. We know you're a journalist. We know you got the scoop. We know you can find the scoop on everything, bitch. But what I did not know was that Charlie didn't sleep with Remy. I didn't know that. And she confronts her about why Remy? Like, what the fuck was that about? She was like, I really cared about him. I genuinely cared about him. But, and Charlie was like, well, you didn't tell me about it because you wanted to do it and you didn't want me to say no. So rather than consult me about it, you went ahead and did it anyway. So I wouldn't have to say no. So you are applying the old adage of I'll apologize rather than ask for permission. I cannot stand people like that. You think you're just going to do what you want to do and then come back and apologize for it instead of asking to do it because you don't want anybody to tell you no. And we can see this as a theme with Nova for every single season. She don't ask nobody. She does what she wants. She's very selfish, very self-absorbed, very selfish. I don't even want to say what sun sign I believe Nova's character is. But it's a lot of me, me, me. I want to do what's right for me and then turn around and think the apologies are going to help. And that's not cool. I did not know that Charlie never slept with Remy. I thought that she did. Or maybe it was that the Latino dude. I could have sworn they slept together. Did they sleep? Y'all jog my memory. Um, so Blue and Micah are at the park and they're having a good time. Blue starts telling Micah about about Pop's girlfriend, Miss Deja, and he sees that that he really likes her, and he can tell that he really likes her, and he's like, trying to explain to Blue, when my mom and dad started to hang around with other people, it was weird at first, but then it became okay. So that little talk with Blue, I think, was cute or whatever. But Blue goes to the restroom. And Micah turns around and he's in his phone, not paying attention. And Blue gets out of the long line of the men's restroom, which is ironic because typically it's the women's restroom that has a long line, and I typically go in the men's restroom. Whenever there's a long line at the club or anywhere else, because all the women's line is always longer because women take a little longer in the bathroom. But I would go into the men's bathroom. So it was weird to see that there was a long line for the men's and no line for the women. And I don't know why Micah didn't think to look in there, but he turned around and starts looking for him. So then they show the next clip with Blue finding a police officer. And I was like, oh shit. And he walks up and he was like, I can't find my cousin. And he was like, okay, we'll, help you find him or whatever. So he was like, get in the car. And I thought to myself, would my kid, as much as I tell them about police officers and as much as I allow them to see things as it relates to the characters of police officers and how you aren't to trust them, that Blue hopped in the back seat of that car. And would my sons do that? I was thinking to myself, would they do that? I couldn't. I was like, what, if they were lost and then they go, I don't even think they would go to a police officer to ask them for help. No. So I thought that was weird. I don't know. I thought that was kind of weird. Anyways, I said Nova is selfish and now she's seeing the consequences. Yes, you have a flaw that you need to correct, that you like to do things that you want to do without consulting people because you're afraid that they're going to say no. It's very childish. That's what kids do. It's very childish. I put Darla's not here for this Jordan girl. So her and, let me see, where am I? Oh, why did I miss that whole, maybe I was just watching it or I was tweeting at the same time. Okay, so Darla is sitting with this girl, Jordan. Seems like they were party girls together. And Darla says, I'm not about that life anymore. And I thought that was very interesting because we don't really typically hear cultural references in Queen Sugar. I don't know if anybody has ever noticed that, but we don't. It's very much, and I think it was Lil Baby that we were talking in the comments, of very much like it seems like they're in another world. There's not a lot of talk about social media. How did Nova not know that Charlie was running for office and just saw it like on the news? There's no social media talk of social media and stuff like that. So when Darla said, I'm not about that life anymore, and then later was it Hollywood or Ralph Angel that said a whole girlfriend? They're using current cultural references, and I thought that was very interesting. I don't know if anybody else noticed that. But anyway, so the girl is talking about this party that they were in, with her and Ralph Angel had a break, and when she cheated on Ralph Angel and got pregnant. So the girl is talking and telling a story, and it sounds like from the story that Darla was very, very high and went into the room with the guy who she believes is the father of Blue. And then this girl, Jordan, tells her that there was another guy there. And Darla starts the shots. I said, this show is so good. The shots, it was a shot this way and then a shot this way and then a shot this way, and they were shooting Darla in all different directions, so you could see the anxiety, you can feel the anxiety, right? And you can see all of that coming. The show is shot great. They really do need a ensemble cast award. For somebody needs to give these people an award because they are really good actors, everybody. And there's not one person in there that would be like, oh, they don't fit. Everybody does well. Everybody expresses themselves. Ralph Angel with his facial expression. I said, honey, this man his ass is so fine. Ugh, I can't. I just can't. I need these other glasses. Anyway, so the girl starts saying some shit that's triggering memories for Darla. And Darla is like, okay, well, I gotta go pick up my son. And she leaves all of a sudden because the girl basically told her that she watched her get raped. Bitch, what? I was like, no, this cannot. So now Darla don't know who the father of the baby. It could be the one or the other. And Blue, I didn't know that Was the idea that Darla was raped or she just had sex with somebody, was really, really drunk and had sex with somebody? Because I remember her saying she was drunk and had sex with somebody. I don't remember her believing that she was raped. Now, please jog my memory. But that made me sick. Like, for that to, for all of those memories just to just circle around her, and she walks out of this thing, walks out of the restaurant, and like, again with the shots showing that she's either in some panic mode, and she looks up, standing right in front of a bar. She walks in there and baby, taking them back, taking them back, taking them back. And this is what I want to know as a bartender, and if there's some bartenders out there, not bar backs, but bartenders, do you recognize when somebody is sitting at the bar and they're contemplating on whether or not they should take a drink? Do you recognize that? Do you look, are you that in tune with the patrons that are sitting at the bar to recognize this person is grappling with something right now, and it looks like they are trying to make a decision on whether or not to drink? Honey, baby Darla got so fucked up. She got tore up. Let's see. Let me see. Let me go here. Let's see. I want to make sure I got everything together first. Okay. I was in the middle of writing on Twitter. I put, do you think, because I wanted to know if, do you think bartenders are able to tell when somebody is in that dilemma, in that state? And right when I was typing that, Darla was like, wow. And I was like, fuck, Darla. But can you blame her? Can you blame her? Bitch, I just found out I was fucking raped, and my baby is a product of rape. And number one, number two, I don't know if it's one person or another person. That, baby, I would have been like, just can you give me the bottle? Thanks, because that shit was crazy. I said, why didn't Micah think to look in the ladies' room? Anyways, with Darla, it really makes me sad. She was walking in the park, fucked up, and Vi is jogging in the park. Now we know the history of Vi and Darla's relationship. Vi didn't really fuck with Darla. She didn't really care for Darla. She didn't really like Darla, right? And now she's in the park and she's seeing her. She's like, Darla? And she was like, I just got to go get Blue. And she was like, are you okay? And she was like, come on, let's go. She was like, I'm fine. I can walk. I can walk. Fucked up. Just tore up. And, and so she takes her back to her home, and then they go to Charlie. Let me get my notes. I'm doing my notes from, okay. So Ralph Angel, I put Ralph Angel Hollywood and Elder Prosper. They're sitting there talking and having, guy talk or whatever. And, Ralph Angel is talking about Lady Genevieve. They're all talking about their partners. And he's like, I see you with that pretty lady lawyer. The old Prosper is a handsome old man. And Ralph Angel is like, yeah, I'm gonna have a conversation with her because I want to take it to the next level. I want to be exclusive. And I think Hollywood said, oh, you're gonna have a whole girlfriend. And Prosper, the old man, he's like, what, a whole girlfriend? Like that reference, that's shit that we say. Them old people don't know. They don't know what it's just a figure of speech. So they get to Nova and Charlie, and they're sitting inside of this hut, and they're having these conversations and memories of when Nova went to visit Charlie one time. And it's so funny how they're having this conversation, and they both have the truth about what happened, and their perspectives are totally different. And I thought that was wonderful to see. I thought it was very important to show that two people could have had the same, been in the same, engaged in the same thing, and have a different story from their perspective about what happened. Charlie feels like Nova was kind of down on her and making fun of things that she liked, and Nova felt like you were intentionally taking me to places that I couldn't afford, and I overheard you say she's just my half sister, but it's cool though, or something she said. So they both have these different truths about an incident that happened in their lives, and they really need to go to counseling, both of them. But what I was gonna say, um, about siblings who have different parents, how it is important that it's the parents' responsibility to ensure that the siblings create a relationship with each other. I didn't, I unfortunately did not have that. Hold on. With my siblings, my father did not cultivate the relationship between me, my older brother from his first marriage, and then my brother and my two sisters from his second marriage. And I don't know if he didn't cultivate the relationship because he made it, my mother and their mother did not get along for before I went to live with my dad for a few months. I was supposed to go to school. I was supposed to live with him and go to school out there just to try and live with my dad. I was 14, and his wife, my sibling's mother, was not nice to me at all. And I don't know if it was because she was battling another female human in the home, or she was battling my mother. So she wasn't the nicest person to me. So I don't know if he didn't cultivate the relationship between the children because of that. Um, but when they got divorced, it was never me and he just, it was just never like, oh, let's all go to my dad's. It was none of that. Later, he put it on my brother to cultivate the relationship with his siblings or our siblings and say like, you're the big brother, but he was never taught how to do that. I always thought it was unfair for him to put that burden on my brother, and I think he put that on my burden because he didn't want to take accountability for not cultivating the relationship between my siblings and all of us. He just didn't do that. And now my sisters and I, we make the effort to keep in touch with each other because we didn't, no one taught us to do that. And so we weren't close at all. At when I say at all. And it's weird because my sister is only 8 years younger than me, and then I have a brother, and then another sister, and then another sister. And um it was not a cultivated relationship. My father just didn't do that. And I have no clue why. I don't know. I can't even think of the reason why. I don't know. It's because of our mothers did not get along, and I still don't understand the depths of that. Why she treated me so poorly when I lived with my dad, and was it because she didn't like my mom, or was it because of me? You know, I was 14, and you know, when you're 14 years old, like you're a kid and you're being treated really poorly, you act out in a way. And I was acting out, and then I didn't end up living. I couldn't stay with my dad. I left. My mother was like, you're not going to stay there. You're not going to continue. It's funny because even with her, how she treated me, she didn't want somebody else doing what she was essentially doing as well. It wasn't as bad, maybe because I am her child. It wasn't as bad, but it wasn't really that different. Yeah. So I don't know, but I thought it was important in Queen Sugar for them to show these two siblings who have different mothers come together and then talk about their experiences with each other when they went to visit, and how it was, and how one was living a life that the other wasn't living, and feeling bad because they didn't get to live that life. I thought it was very interesting, and it just made me think of my siblings. I know I rambled on, but whatever. So I just said they're reminiscing. Ditch Nova. It looked like a Ralph Lauren ad. Um, she's just my half sister, and the other one's like, I don't even remember saying that. And I just remember you were putting me down and stuff like that. It's just it's weird how, you know, children, when you're children, and how you reminisce on things when you were a child, and how you think like, gosh, I don't remember that. I don't remember saying that to you. I don't remember doing that to you. Um, But then they didn't. Neither one apologize. Did they apologize? I don't even think they apologized. Did Charlie apologize? I don't remember. But I put they need counseling together. So they're showing Darla and Vi sitting down at the table, and Darla is now expressing what just happened. And then Vi shares that she was a victim of sexual assault too. Like I said, 1 out of 7 women will be sexually assaulted by the time they are 18 years old. And it's a very disgusting statistic. Um, it's sad, and it's sad and from what Vi and Darla have been through, to come there and sit together and bond over that pain, it was really sad to watch. And Vi's telling her no means no. If you were not in the right mind, it doesn't matter. You did not have you could not consent when you are that drunk that you do not remember that another person was there. There's no possible way that you could have consented to sex. So whether you started off as though, because even you could see her trying to make excuses as to, and this is what women go through, making excuses as to why they were sexually assaulted, because so many times a lot of the times women are blamed for somebody assaulting them. You shouldn't have gone there. What were you doing? Why were you wearing this? Da 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 da. Instead of saying, why are you making an excuse for somebody being violent to a person? You are telling me that I am the reason why someone was violent towards me. It's very sad. And it was very sad to watch. And she's crying, and she's like, they call Ralph Angel. Ralph Angel says, Device says, I need you to come down here to Darla's house by yourself. I was like, oh shit. And come on. He was like, okay. And he takes off and he goes or whatever. Um, oh, when Micah and Blue walk in where Hollywood, Ralph Angel, and Prosper are, they were like, how was your day? And Micah looks, Micah finds Blue. And when he finds Blue, he sees him in the back of the car and he's triggered immediately. And it's like, wait, get out of that car. What are you doing in the car? Why do you have him in the car? That's just what it was. And you can see when they come back how when Blue says he was in the back of that police car, how they did a shot on every man's face, from the elder to the older man to the younger man, then to Micah and to the babe. You could see that generation. All of them were like, what? He was in the back of a police car. What the fuck was going on? Why in the hell are you that close to a cop to where you're in the back of a damn police car? Everything is okay. And then they realize, people forget that Micah had that traumatic experience with a cop. And they forget that. So when Micah comes into contact with police, he is triggered, and it's PTSD, and he reacted that way. And the man put his hand on the gun. That was just, that was just disgusting. And they all reacted, and I thought it was important to see the generations. Do you see that? It was Prosper, Hollywood, Ralph Angel, Micah, and Blue. All the generations. And Blue doesn't have a clue. So clearly somebody needs to educate him about cops and stuff like that, and how to relate to them and when to engage in them and all that stuff. Because I believe that my child would have been like, okay, well, I'll just wait outside the car. You're not putting me in the back of no police car. No, sir. That is not happening. What happened after that? So not Micah, what is that name? Ralph Angel gets down there with Darla's house. Darla's sitting there. She was like, I gotta tell you something. Ralph Angel, his expressions on his face, Kofi, you need an award, child. Because his face, he be looking so like it's a tragedy. Like his facial expressions are so beautiful and so painful. And it's just like, what's going on? And she proceeds to tell him, but she does not say the words rape. And I don't know if that was intentional, or did they just make it so he could understand, like, this is what I'm suggesting. But he's crying, she's crying, I'm crying. It's sad, but it gives me the chills. But to see Ralph Angel respond in the way that he did to that news was so important, because that is an expression of unconditional love. Because she is telling the story that she already is ashamed about, she's been shamed about, and then it's written about in a book, that the paternity of the son, and he tells her, don't be sorry. He hugs her. He's crying with her. It was no blame. It was no nothing. It was, here this person is in pain. They are telling me, I am comforting them and I'm holding them. He reaches out to hug her. She cries. It is such a good scene and a good moment. Baby, I'm telling you, they are some really great writers on that show. Like, seriously, really great writers. Um, should Ralph Angel enter a relationship with Deja, now that he knows what state Darla is in? She's in a very, very fragile state. And Nova not taking that woman's sobriety into consideration. Like, out of all of them, and even Vi and her bonding and saying, no, we've experienced things in our life that we're not happy about. You understand? But we got to talk about it. And it's good to talk about it in your own time, right? But would they have talked about it if it wasn't for Nova's book? That's the dilemma. Would all of them still be wearing a mask if it wasn't for Nova's book? Nova's book was wrong the way she did it, and it's forcing people to face things that they may not be ready to face, clearly with Darla. But Darla, to me, is the one who is suffering the most from this. And it's fucked up because she's not really a part of their family. You understand? And they don't really fuck with Darla like that. She's essentially alone. And it's very sad. It's just really sad. She wakes up the next morning. Ralph Angel is there. He brings her, I don't know, water, coffee, or something. I don't know, food. I don't know what he brings her. But he sits down on the edge of the bed and he's like, I gotta go to work. She's like, I gotta go to work. He was like, why don't you just rest? He rubs her face and she rubs his arm. And bonding in misery is like the worst way to connect with a person. I've done it. It's just not a good, it's not a good way to start a relationship, friendship, whatever it is. A lot of people are in pain, and a lot of people bond when they start talking about their pain. And it's unfortunate that so many people have so much pain from choices they made in their life, from their family situations, from past relationships. I don't care what anybody says, every single person has baggage. Now, whether you're healed or not, that's a different story. But a lot of people are in the midst of healing. And I think that Queen Sugar tackling all of these things that plague our community all at once is very emotional. They send you on an emotional roller coaster. And it's just trauma after trauma after trauma. You're dealing with cops, you're dealing with paternity, you're dealing with prison, you're dealing with sexual assault, you're dealing with PTSD, you're dealing with immigration, you're dealing with all of these things on this show. It's a lot. It is a lot. And then you have the black sheep coming out, and I don't know if Nova is considered a black sheep, but she's been ousted here and from the family. But her to write all of this stuff down and deal with it, right? Interracial relationships, all of this stuff that they're dealing with. It is so good. Such a good show. It was a lot to deal with. I hope I didn't miss anything, but I don't know what's going to happen. I don't think that Ralph Angel, and we know Darla is not going to enter in no relationship. Oh boy, I already told her, I already know you on the brink of drinking. I'm not, I have to create a boundary with you because I take my sobriety seriously and I don't want to grapple with it. And I can tell that you're grappling with it, and it's just going to be one thing. And it was just one thing. But to me, that would have drove me to drink. I don't give a fuck. When you have a memory, all of a sudden you realize, and then you realize that the bitch sitting across from you basically fucking watched. Bitch, give me the whole bottle. Anyways, y'all take care of each other. Let me know what you think. Let's get down in the comments and have a wonderful day. Take care of each other. Protect your energy. Peace.